Does it show that I'm recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Stephanie, and today I'm here to interview you for my UX design class. The main goal of this interview is to better understand the needs and challenges faced by computer science students who are approaching graduation. For this purpose, you have been identified as a potential user. I will be video recording this interview and would like your consent for the same. So, do you consent to being video recorded?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So your responses in this recording would be kept confidential and will only be used to improve the student experience. The interview would take around 15 minutes, and your valuable insights and answers to the questions I have today will help us in coming up with the best solutions to addressing these challenges in the future. Do you have any questions before we begin?
No, sounds good.
Okay, perfect. So could you please introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about your background, such as your major, year, etc.?
Sure. So my name is Cecilia Cardenas. I'm a third year data science major, and I'm also minoring in business administration. And just well, I came into UF with like no prior programming experience, and then I've learned a lot here in UF, and that's allowed me to find a job where I work at right now as a data management assistant in the department of the UF hospital. And yeah, I believe that's one of my biggest experiences in programming related, and it's helped me develop a bunch of my programming skills.
Perfect. And how close are you to graduating from UF?
So I graduated in May 2025, so in a year approximately.
Okay, perfect. And are you considering further education, such as a master's or something, or are you just planning on entering the workforce after graduation?
So as right when I graduate, I want to enter the workforce. I want to find a full-time position. But once I am in that full-time position, I want to eventually try to get a master's degree in either computer science or more like artificial intelligence, machine learning, that area. And but I would probably do this while I'm still working. So I'm kind of looking forward to do it like an online master's, like getting an online master's degree.
Okay, perfect. And can you share a bit about your post-graduation plans slash aspirations? You kind of mentioned it a little bit, but I guess, yeah.
Sure. So, well, I have an internship lined up for this summer in data engineering, and I want to explore this area of data engineering because, well, it's similar to what I've been working on here at UF as a data management assistant. But once I pass this internship and see if I really like this data engineering area, or maybe I want to focus more on data science related to machine learning, I want to find full-time positions that are related to those areas instead. Actually, well, next year I want to focus a lot in doing research and especially in data science, so that once I start applying for full-time roles, I have the experience necessary that those positions will require me to have. And basically, I'm just looking to graduate and have already a stable job lined up so that I can go into that once I graduate, especially like in the data science field or a machine learning field.
Okay, now these are more like, I guess, those are just like general questions. So I guess moving into like more of like the interview, so to speak. How has your overall experience at the university been so far, both academically, socially, all of the above?
So, well, academically, I think UF is a rigorous school. Once when like again, I came into UF with no prior programming experience, so when I came in, it was a bit hard when my in the programming one, programming two, like fundamentals classes. It was a bit hard to just like start learning about different programming languages, how programming actually works, like grasping that concept. But I think that UF is a school that expects their teachers, and that's what they give, for them to be like super open to students, for them to come in into office hours, to give them help in any assignments they might need. So academically, I think UF has given me like all the support I've needed throughout my 3 years here, and I think it's made the whole data science experience just really great. And in the social terms, I would say also that UF is a really great school in the sense that there's so many like student organizations that you can join, that you can go into these organizations and meet so many people. I especially have been specifically really involved in the Venezuelan Student Association, and there I've met like most of my friends here at UF. It's a really welcoming organization, and that's really what I've heard from other people's point of view in regards to UF in the social aspect. So yeah, overall, I just think that my time here at UF has been super great, and I'm really grateful to have come into this school.
Perfect. Now, what are some memorable experiences or opportunities you've had during your time here?
Memorable experiences relating to like in what sense? Just
Just
in general.
whatever, like I guess either socially, academically, I guess academically.
Okay. Well, in the professional sense, I think one of my most memorable experiences, it's the current job that I mentioned before that I have. I think, well, aside from UF and the programming classes that I've taken, in my job, it's where I've learned like most of my experience. And again, as I mentioned before, it's like one of my strongest experiences. And I think it's my most memorable experience because, well, working within a department in the UF hospital, everyone in that department has always been super welcoming, super just ready to be helpful to me if there was anything that I didn't really understand, or if there was something I was having like a hard time grasping what exactly was a project that we were working on. And I think it's been one of the best experiences that I've had here at UF because, well, it's what has allowed me to learn and to start entering like the workforce. And it's what I've been doing for almost, well, a little bit more than a year now. So yeah, this job, I think it's been one of my best experiences here.
Perfect. And what activities or organizations have you been involved in or are you currently involved in?
So, well, as I mentioned before, I'm part of the Venezuelan Student Association. I'm currently the vice president, and it's basically, well, I am Venezuelan, so it's been one of my ways to still be connected to my roots here at UF, and it's allowed me to meet many just Hispanics in general that are in the university. That has helped me like feel super welcome within the organization and within UF itself. Aside from VENSA, or the Venezuelan Student Association, I'm also involved in DSI, which is the Data Science and Informatics Club. And they have super helpful workshops in Python, SQL, R, and it's just a way to connect with other data science students, which, well, there isn't really that many here at UF, so it's been a little hard just to find like other people that are also majoring in data science. But also it's helped me like reach out into like needing to find other people that might be like involved in this technical field. For example, I'm also involved in the SHEP, in the Society for Hispanic Professional Engineers, and this is a very mixed organization. There's engineers of every type, mechanical, technical, aerospatial, and but there's also the computer science side, the technical side that has also data science majors, computer science majors. So yeah, within all those organizations, I think I've been able to mix in my social activity, social background, being able to find people here in UF within the Venezuelan community that I can relate to and I can feel welcome by. And then at the same time, I've also been involved in academic organizations that have helped me develop some of the skills that I have today and just meet many people that I can be either just a good network to have for the future, or that can help me right now with my studies and I can relate to in classes.
Now, how have your goals or career aspirations evolved throughout your time at the university?
So, well, I would say, well, when I first came into UF, I chose data science because I've always really liked math. Like I've always been like a really math person. And the idea of learning about programming was super appealing to me. But at the same time, I feel like I've always really been like a people person. I want to be involved in whatever I do that has like some type of impact on other people. So I felt that data science was like the best major to choose that would combine those two interests. And I think along my time here at UF, I've been able to see exactly how I can grab all the knowledge I've learned during my career, I mean, during my journey at UF, and apply that to my career in the future, and be able to mix in again those interests that are maybe more in the technical side, more STEM related interest, and then mix those up with having some type of impact in some people in the future. So, for example, that's learning more about research is what has led me to really want to start doing research from now on until I graduate. And I think that's one of the best ways to impact people through data science, being able to use software to actually find solutions to current problems that people are having. And at the same time, in my job, since it's a department within the UF hospital, managing actual data and real data of real life people has helped me, see how even the data management aspect, which maybe isn't so like into data science researchy, maybe it's not necessarily like finding a direct solution. Even that I can also, find solutions for in the data system, in the database system for real people. So that's different ways that I found how to relate my major to my people related interest and how I can do that in the future as well.
Perfect. So now we're gonna dive deeper into like the more detail-oriented questions. So, as you approach graduation, what are your primary concerns or challenges regarding the transition to post-graduation life?
So, well, first off, location wise, I don't really know where I'm gonna end up, and I don't necessarily have like a specific interest on where exactly I want to go. I'm really open to exploring different places across the US and working in different places, but that's a really big uncertainty that I have. And since I don't know where I'm gonna end up, it's like I can't really start preparing already for what's going to come next in that specific place. Also in the social aspect, I don't know if, well, if I end up in a really small town where I don't really know that many people, or well, I've always really been um, my social aspect has been related to my Venezuelan side, relating to the Hispanic community. Maybe if I end up in a really small town where I can't really find that Hispanic community, that's also a fear that I could have because, well, I wouldn't know how to necessarily use my past experience, like in the social aspect, into developing my social relationships in that exact place. I think that's one of the biggest fears that I have. Also, well, um, while getting closer to graduation, I really hope that I can have a full-time position lined up, because if not, I feel like that would be a really like stressful situation during my senior year. So yeah, I hope that after this internship, I can just start into the application process for full-time positions and hopefully have something lined up already for graduation. And I don't have to worry about that post-graduation. And just in general, well, the world is changing a lot. There have been like many advancements in like AI, machine learning lately, and just I want to really be able to keep up with all these advancements post graduation, even though I'm not necessarily surrounded by this huge community of people that like everyone's just really involved in what's going on in the world because we're currently learning how to prepare for that world and to enter into that world. So I just hope that post graduation, I'm also able to keep up with all the advancements that are going on around me and be able to learn like I'm doing right now, any skills or anything that might be necessary so I can still be involved in that same world.
Perfect. And I guess a follow-up would be, how are you currently addressing these challenges and what support do you feel you need?
Well, so in regards to applying to full-time positions, I think that just support in general I would need and that UF currently gives is just well being able to apply to those full-time positions and maybe going into the Career Connection Center just to find some help if I needed regarding my professional applications or internship process. And sorry, can you repeat the first part of the question?
Yeah, just how are you currently addressing these challenges?
Oh, well, and in regards
Yeah.
to yeah, how I mentioned, I am not currently like able to know where I'm gonna end up, like location specific wise. I think currently how I'm addressing those challenges is by knowing that, in my past experience, like moving from Venezuela and everything, I was also coming into something I didn't really know. I moved to Miami when I was 14. So when I moved to Miami, I didn't really know what I was going into. So I think that I can have that same approach when I graduate and just be open to it, to everything, and just look at it as a new adventure, a whole new journey, and take advantage of whatever's going to come next. And in regards to like the advancements that are currently going on in the world, I think that, as long as I stay informed on what's going on and I'm just ready to learn new things always, I think I'll always be able to like keep up with all these advancements that are going on and just be able to keep learning about those even in the future where I don't really have that whole surrounding that's usually like super involved in what's currently going on right now.
Perfect. Now, can you describe any steps you've taken or plan to take for job placement or further education?
For job placement or further education.
Yeah, for whichever.
Yeah. So, well, for a job placement, as I said, I currently have an internship lined up for the summer, and I know that's going to be a really great experience that I'm going to have. And once I'm already done with that internship, and I can either see if I want to stay in that company or just move on into other companies. And I think that's like the most recent thing that I have lined up in the future, that I think is going to help me the most for the job application process. And in regards to just academics in the future, or maybe getting that online master's, I think that's something I'll have to see later on. Like currently, it depends on the job that I actually end up in. But I think what I can do right now is just talk to different people, get to learn a little bit more about the whole graduate application process, what things I should have right now in my resume, or what can I do right now in as an undergrad, so that makes me like a top candidate for schools once I want to apply for like a master's degree.
Perfect. And have you faced any obstacles during this search process and like how have you addressed them?
Search process relating like to what?
Like to finding jobs, like looking for jobs, getting a job.
Sure. So well, when trying to find an internship, my during fall, that was basically like all that I was trying to do. Like, I tried really hard to get an internship during the summer, and just I think one of the biggest challenges was just like handling like schoolwork and being involved in this Venezuelan organization and in my different organizations, with just the whole job application process. Having to have interviews at the same time when in some weeks I would have exams. So I think it's a really hard time for a lot of people because, well, as students, we have a lot on our plate already, and then we have also the stress of actually being able to do well in these interviews, in the just the whole general application process, that we really want to get something, either a full-time position, or in my position in fall it was getting an internship. So I think, yeah, one of the challenges was just like being really stressed and managing like schoolwork while being in this whole application process as well.
Perfect. So how well do you feel the university has prepared you for the next steps after graduation, such as career readiness?
I think the university has done a really good job. And actually, well, in data science is actually in the liberal arts college, and they have like this program that's called Beyond 120. And I took one of the classes that they offer last fall. It's a pretty small class. We met like once a week or so. But the class was basically about, getting to know yourself a little bit more, working on your resume, working on how to write a cover letter if you ever need to, just highlighting all the things that companies want to find in your application. And all of that just gave me a really big introduction into what I was going to find in the whole application process. So I know that UF has a bunch of courses that work in the same way for all the different colleges. And aside from the Career Connection Center, or just any of the professional resources that you can find within the social or academic organizations at UF, I think that there are so many resources that we get to take advantage of, and that I'm grateful of, by being here at UF, and that I can actually, I can actually use because I'm a student here and I can take advantage of them. And yeah, I know that these resources are and will help me for my job application process in the future.
Perfect. And are there specific skills or knowledge areas you wish had been more emphasized in your program? So like in the data science field?
Yeah, well, I guess right now, especially since like all of these advancements in machine learning and artificial intelligence, I feel that some of the classes should have included a little bit more of this aspect in the technical sense. But in relation to everything else, I think that, I've been able to learn a bunch of programming languages just by attending class, just by doing my assignments, doing projects. And I all these programming languages already I can list them as technical skills that I currently have, and just by being a student here at UF. So, but aside from those, I do think that the AI and machine learning side was a little lacking, especially like in the data science field, which is I think one of the strongest areas that is directly related to AI and machine learning. So yeah, I feel like maybe it's in some classes that could have been highlighted a little more.
Perfect. Now, can you describe any resources or services provided by the university that you found particularly helpful or that you found to be lacking in preparing for life after graduation?
Yeah, well, I already mentioned some, like the Career Connection Center. They actually have like a drop-in that you can come by like any day. It's basically a strip express drop-in. And I remember one time I was really nervous, like for an interview that I was gonna have. So I just really just dropped by and I talked to one of the advisors that they had there, and he helped me out a lot. Like he made me see that I was already prepared. It was just handling the current stress that I was going through before the interview. And I think that's one of the biggest places where you can actually go to find help, like in the all the professional sense. Also, well, I have the app that they use just to post anything about like upcoming workshops, like events that they're gonna have, when showcases coming up, like that's a super helpful app. So I think that's a really good resource. And just in general, like a bunch of professional organizations, especially SHEP, the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. I think it's a great organization in providing resources that can be helpful in the in all sense of the professional areas. Like you can reach out to any member of the e-board or any director, and they'll definitely have some type of handout or something to help you out, either to make your resume or make your resume better, or for a specific interview, because since there's been so many people in that organization, they'll know at least someone that's already gone through that specific interview. So that organization specifically, I think it's one of the best ones in here at UF, in not only like including Hispanic engineers or technical students, but also providing them those professional resources that are going to make them feel even more than prepared for anything in the professional sense.
Perfect. And following up this, in what ways could the less helpful resources be improved to better meet your needs?
So, well, I think, well, some of the less level resources are what I mentioned before, that maybe some classes don't necessarily focus on preparing you in the professional sense. There are some classes that are offered that you have to, go in and register for that specific class. But there's a lot of classes that don't really dive into how you're gonna apply the concepts that you're currently learning, that how you're gonna apply them in the future. So I think, a way that these less helpful resources could be better is just by, the professors linking that direct way into how the concept that you're currently learning right now is going to be useful to you in the future, and in not only in your job application process, but just in the professional sense, that once you're in your internship or your full-time position, that you'll be able to actually use those concepts that you're currently learning, and it's not just like something that you currently just have to memorize for that class or for the exam, and that it can be something that you can actually relate it to in your workplace in the future.
Perfect. And last set of questions. In terms of networking and building professional relationships, what opportunities has the university provided and how effective have they been for you?
So, well, all of the organizations here at UF, honestly, I think are super welcoming, and UF makes those expectations super clear for the organizations when they're being founded, when they're being created. And there's such a variety of different organizations here at UF that you can go into in the academic and social sense that I think that's one of the best ways that you can actually find other people. You can network with other people. You can find students either in your major and just in the areas of your major. You can find people that are in your same class that maybe it's 500 people person class that you're never really gonna like you never would have found those people unless you would have gotten involved in this organization. So yeah, especially like the academic organizations are super helpful in networking wise and just putting in your effort so that you're actually involved within that organization and that you can get to know all the people that are part of it as well and make them part of your current network and so that they can be a part of your professional network as well in the future.
Perfect. And final question, what kind of networking events or opportunities do you think would be most beneficial for students in your position?
So, well, as a data science student, I think actually, well, I attended the SHEP convention, it's called, and I think it's one of the best networking events that I've attended so far. It was basically this really big national convention. SHEP is a national organization, and all of the different SHEPs within all of the different colleges around the United States brought in students, and all these students had the ability to meet so many recruiters and just so many people in general and connect with these people either through LinkedIn or just in general by turning in your resume. You created this new connection that you wouldn't have by attending this convention. So I think, UF does have career showcase in fall and spring. And I think it's a great opportunity. It's a really big showcase and you can get to meet so many companies. But I think that a really good way for UF to prepare you would be just before showcase actually provide a bunch of resources. Like I know the Career Connection Center does provide resources before the fall and spring showcases, but even more resources, honestly, that are just like so many that people can just feel that they're not just prepared, that they're ready to like talk to recruiter, make that connection, grow their network, and they feel super confident in themselves and what they're gonna bring into the table. Of course, at the same time, this is not only on like the university's role or university's responsibility, like this is the student's responsibility as well to show up to showcase, to prepare in the days beforehand, just look up the companies that are going, find interesting ways to connect with the recruiters, but just providing even more resources that they currently do, I think would be like a really great way to prepare students before the fall and spring showcase, which is something that actually the SHEP convention did before I went. And we actually had this really big, it was just like a really big handbook that had like all the different companies that are going, what exactly are these companies looking for, what interns, if they're looking for interns, if they're looking for full-time positions, what majors in specifically. So all of those things are super important. And I think are really like a resource like that the university provided before fall or spring showcase would be super helpful for students and they would feel even more confident going into showcase.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Let me stop the recording real quick.